did have checks when we flew. It was up to the navigator. He was supposed to check. He'd say, the tail gunner is the only one you couldn't see. The waist gunner could see his back, but nobody else could see you. And so the tail gunner was the one that you had to check for. And it just so happened that I passed out from lack of oxygen, and the man saved my life. That was in October 9th. The target, what was prime target for us in Germany when we were flying was oil. And the roughest target in Germany at that time was the town of Muskegon. I was scheduled to go there 5 times. I went there on my 4th mission, and the Germans had what they called barrage flak. They would try to project where you were going to fly through, and they put up barrage flak, and you'd fly through it just like a big black cloud. If the smoke was black, you had 88s. If it was gray, it was 105s that were shooting at you. You couldn't get high enough to get out of their range. I mean, you were a sitting duck up there. But anyway, Muskegon, I was scheduled to go there 5 times. The 3rd time was November 30th, and they got us. November 30th of 1944, and I might have a little problems with this because the lead navigator, we had like about 1,000 bombers, and because Germany was being closed in, synthetic oil had all kinds of guns. They could bring 400 guns to bear on you, maybe 500 guns. You were like sitting ducks up there. So anyway, the lead navigator followed us up, so we missed the IP point. The IP is where you turn on your target. When you get on the IP, the bombardier takes over the airplane. You have to fly perfectly straight. Before that, when they first started to bomb, they would zigzag into targets. Curtis LeMay come over, and the bomb deals were not too good, so he set that up. You got to the IP and you flew straight. So there you were. No movement at all. You were just like a sitting duck. Well, because we were fouled up, we ended up over a town of Zeitz where they had a bunch of master sergeants. They handled those anti-aircraft guns. They always got one of us. And they shot the living daylights out of us there. We were in the lead squadrons, and each squadron had 12 airplanes. Three up in the high and the 3 in the low, and we were number 6. We finally got through the target. I can remember the radio man crying, drop the bombs. It was the worst mission I ever went on. I found out afterwards, because of the error of the navigators, when we turned on the target, we were bucked right onto a headwind. So we were in flaks for 26 minutes. 26 minutes. We finally got out of the flak, and I thank God. I thank God we were out of the flak. And about that time, in the tail, I turned my head, and I could see the plane up in front of us. There was only 5 of us left out of 12. And the lead plane was there, and the second plane I saw out of my eye, I had flown 1 mission with them. Their tail gunner had been hit with flak in the back, so I flew 1 mission. Just as I watched him, the tracking flak hit us, and they were right on us. In other words, we were on the other end of the town, and the tracking flak picked us up. Well, the lead plane took a hit right in the right wing, and he rolled right over on top of the number 2 airplane. 2 B-17s with 20 men gone. And we were still flying. We only had 2 engines left. One of them was windmilling. The pilots were so busy they couldn't feather the prop while we were on this target, so they couldn't feather it. We got back as far as Kassel, Germany, and we were down to 1 engine, and you couldn't see the ground, 10 tins cloud cover. The pilot finally gave the order to bail out, and I should have been the first man. I was right in front of the door in the back, and I pulled on it, didn't open it. Somebody went right out ahead of me, and I saw their body going through the clouds, of course. And when I got on the ground, I was on the ground in about 2 minutes because you couldn't see the ground. We were that low. We were so low that afterwards I found out that our 3 officers went down with the ship. They were killed. The man that landed next to me was from the fellow by the name of Pete Peterson. He landed on the side of a hill. It was all covered with snow. In between us was a farmer. He was liming his crops, liming his fields in the wintertime. And I waved at Pete, and he waved at me, and I thought, what do I do? What do I do? There's strength in numbers. We're 300 miles inside of Germany. I can't speak German. Pete couldn't either. The odds were not good. And about that time, I heard a noise behind me. It was my engineer. So we took off, and they caught us 24 hours later. But when the Germans caught you, they sent you to Frankfurt, Germany for interrogation. When I got there, I bumped into my waist gunner, a German lad from Wisconsin. He could speak German. And I said, where's Pete? And he said, what do you mean? I said, where's Pete? Well, he said, Pete's dead. I said, he can't be dead. I waved to him. Well, he said, George, because this man could speak German, he argued for his life in German. He says one of the farmers killed him with a pitchfork. So that's why, how lucky. It wasn't my time, put it that way. But that's why you heard me say that wars don't settle nothing, they just make enemies.